Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we are live. DJ having technical difficulties. No, we're not. Fergal O'Hagan. Thank you all for being here and joining this little live stream. I haven't done one of these in quite some time. So nice to be back. Hasn't been easy lately. I've been traveling all over the bloody world. Where have I been? I was just in Vegas, got home yesterday. Then I was in Saudi Arabia. Then I was in Vegas. Then I was in Atlanta. Then I was in Costa Rica. Then I was in London. I've been all over the bloody place, working my backside off. But now I'm back for a few weeks. So I'll be ramping up the live streams and the YouTube content and the podcast and trying to be a father and a husband all at the same time. But still, you're not here to hear or listen to me go on about that and complain how hard my life is. No, we're here to talk about UFC 303, have a little bit of interaction, and thank you all for being here once again. How is yourself, bro? You're a great guy. Mohammed Alzabi. I appreciate that, my brother. Arthur Morgan. Love from Manchester, Mike. Thank you. Love right back to you. I'll be there for UFC 304. That's my next UFC gig. Very, very excited about that one. And I actually believe that the main event in Manchester, the co-main event in Manchester, the interim heavyweight title fight, the winner of that one could be next for Alex Pereira. After what Alex Pereira did last night, it was just unbelievable. The way that he knocked out Jiri Prochzka. Put me in my place. Listen, I know I picked Jiri to win, but that was just a hunch. Okay, a lot of people in the comment section coming for me going, why have you got a problem with Alex Pereira? Guys, they're both incredible fighters. I just had a hunch that Jiri might do it. Turns out I was wrong. Ryan's here with a super chat. I know it will be tough, Mike, but please be honest and non-biased. What did you think of Anthony's performance last night and where does he go next? Well, Ryan, it is going to be tough because Anthony's a friend of mine and we're going to get into all of that stuff. We're going to talk about that in just a second. And listen, I can't lie. It wasn't a good performance. It wasn't. And I take no satisfaction from saying that. He rolled the dice. He took a fight on very short notice. He did that last time against Vitor Petrino. It paid off, so maybe that gave him, a little false sense of security in doing it again. He rolled the dice. It didn't work out. He was tired. He was out of breath. And let me tell you, once you get tired in a fight, it's the loneliest place on planet Earth because there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Still, as I say, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Let's focus on the positive stuff. Let's talk about Alex Pereira and the main event. And let's talk about UFC 303 as a whole because that fight card, whilst there were some really entertaining fights, if we look at it here, that is not what I'm trying to show you. That is a blank screen. Technical difficulties already. What a guy. Bloody useless. Let me try that one more time. I'm going to try it again, guys. I'm going to try window capture. Window capture. Shavkat. No. Boom. There it is. That's what I was trying to show you. So that fight card there clearly is not the fight card that we thought we were going to get. That went through so many changes. It was supposed to be Conor McGregor versus Chandler. Then the co-main event was Jamal Hill versus, who was it? Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree. No, Jamal drops out. Khalil drops out. Then Jamal drops out. Ulberg steps in. Ulberg steps out. Anthony steps in. Who else steps in? Roman Dolidze steps in. The co-main event, Diego Lopes, Brian Ortega. Ortega moves up to 155 on the last minute. At the last minute. Then what else? Then 4 hours before the fight, Dan Ige steps in, which is just unbelievable. Gotta give, listen, people always say, maximum respect to the UFC, and absolutely, what they consistently pull off is unreal. But they couldn't do it without the fighters. Dan Ige stepping up on 4 hours' notice is unbelievable. It really is. As is that little super chat, Jason Carney. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a member. Jason Carney, big shout out to you. 4 hours. I said this on Twitter yesterday. Imagine your day starts. You wake up, you get out of bed, you have your breakfast. You think, you know what? I'm going to go walk the dog, whatever the case may be. As the day progresses, you think, you know what? I fancy a little massage. I'll have a little massage. You get a massage, brr, brr, phone rings, you look at it, it's Dana White, or it's Hunter Campbell, or Sean Shelby, whoever it is that made the call, and you're like, hello? How can I help you? They're like, listen, we need you to fight at the T-Mobile Arena. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. When? September? End of the year? No, tonight, in 4 hours. Can you do it? Yes or no? And you're like, yeah. Let me find my mouthpiece. Let me grab my gum shield and my gloves. Where the fuck's my mouthpiece? Quick, I've got to get to the T-Mobile Arena. And then off you pop. And you step in there on 4 hours. And you push Diego Lopes to the limits. Because he was close to getting a finish in that final round, in the third round. So anyway, well done to him. Well done to him. Right, so let's have a look at some of the super chats and the chats in general. So there's going to be a lot of talk about Alex Pereira. Rebecca, could I get a water as well, please, babe? Rebecca will not be joining the live today. Nobody's asked for her yet, though, but she won't be. She's not been so well lately, sadly. But I've been having to fend for myself. I've been having to cook. I've been having to go down the supermarket and do everything myself. I'll tell you what, this is not what I signed up for. But she is making a coffee, so thank her. Right, okay, what is your main in Tekken 8? We're not here to talk about that Mr. Shea Cray from Denmark. No worse than the Asian girl who retired yesterday. You mean Michelle Waterson-Gomez? Congrats to her and a great career. She was never a champion, but she was a great fighter. She had some very entertaining fights. Also, on that note, we're going to say a big shout out. Thanks, babe. Going to say a big shout out to the one and only Pitbull, Andrei Arlovsky. Andrei Arlovsky signed with the UFC in the year 2000. In fact, let's just have a look at his record here, because this is mental. It is absolutely mental. There he is. Andrei Arlovsky, right? He signs with the UFC in the year 2000, and here he is, 24 years later, still going strong. Hold on, let's go down to the bottom here. Way down there. Way. Look at that. 2000. Unbelievable. The one above it. Aaron Brink, UFC 28. And then he retires in 2024. So unbelievable. Got to give him his credit, man. Arlovsky, an absolute legend of the sport. He was in 3 championship fights, won the belt 3 times, I think, something like that. He was a former champion for sure, and a solid dude as well, and a fearsome fighter back in the day. Anyway, right. Chats, questions. Mullets are a classic cut and the babe magnet. I don't think I agree with you on that one. Listen, if anyone's got a good mullet, it is Diego Lopes. He rocks that, okay? And there's a couple of other good mullets in the UFC as well. Generally, it's a bit of a shitty haircut. Let's be honest. You look like a hillbilly. There, I said it. Baba Blue, did I watch the England game? I saw the second half. And I saw the 2 goals. What was it? Harry Kane and Bellingham. So well done. They got through to the next round by the skin of their teeth. They go up against Switzerland. I'm not a massive football fan. I'm not going to do any analysis. But the general vibe is that they've been pretty shit, right? Which is nothing new. It's nothing. They're all bloody superstars. You know, Jesus Christ. Sean O'Malley's new cut is sort of a mullet. Have I seen it? I haven't, Helms. Sean O'Malley gets away with that stuff, though. If anyone can rock a mullet, he can. Have I spoken to Anthony Smith? I have not. Not yet. We will. I mean, you got to give the man some time. He's going to be devastated. He's going to be really sad. He's going to be frustrated with himself, mainly. You know? Listen. He had the balls to step up. He had the balls to throw his hand out there. I think UFC called him, you know, and he was like, you know what, I can do this. He was going to fight Carlos Ulberg. He was helping Jamal Hill in camp for Carlos Ulberg, and he felt like he was training and he was in decent shape, so it didn't feel like a short notice fight. Obviously, Ulberg got injured, undisclosed injury still. Dolidze steps in. Dolidze is not an easy man to beat. He's a beast. He is. He's a beast. He's a big, strong Georgian power wrecking machine. But I don't think Anthony... He didn't look very good. It wasn't one of his best performances. He's going to be a bit embarrassed about that one down the line, and that's okay. That's okay. But he's got to, you know, he's going to take his next steps, consider his next steps very carefully. The reality is Anthony's still 35 years old, so he's still got time, but you can't continue to take short notice fights. And he knows that. He said that to me on the podcast. But then, of course, they make him this offer. Money, a lot of money. It's hard to turn down. He feels confident in his abilities. He's like, you know what, I can do this. I'm taking the fight. You know, and he probably got a nice little bump. In fact, I know he did. So he's making a lot of money. You know, so before you all cast judgment, remember, first and foremost, all of these fighters, the majority, their first obligation is as a father and a husband, as the head of the family, to be a provider. You know, so let's remember that. Because, listen, I can't sit here and say that was a great performance. It wasn't. But what he did was put it all on the line for his family. And if you look at it through that lens, you have to respect him. Now, granted, of course, you guys as fans, and rightly so, you want to see high-level mixed martial arts, okay? And he got tired. He got tired. You can't operate anything at a high level in any sport or any kind of physical activity when you're tired. But as a man, I understand why he did it. Anthony said all lightweights are afraid and he gets cooked by a middleweight. Well, you know, that is going to come back and haunt him, you know. That's the roll of the dice, isn't it? Anytime you talk shit as a professional fighter and you come up short, then you're going to be made to swallow those words, to eat those words, and you're going to be reminded of them. You know, when I talk shit about flipping George St. Pierre, everyone threw that in my face, you know. But I've done it many times and I've won and I look like the man. Jesse on fire here. Jesse says, I'm recording a video about Ian Garry saying a fighter paying for inside information from an opponent's team should merit a lifetime ban. What do I think? Teammate who sold info on nursing injuries is a piece of shit. Jesse, what is Ian Garry talking about, though? He's talking out of his ass, more than likely. Is that actually a thing? Do we have any evidence? It's probably bullshit. It's probably bullshit. Just like his performance against Michael Venom Page. That was kind of bullshit. I think that was one of the only performances where his stock will drop in a victory. Now, granted, Ian Garry, what he did was he beat Michael Venom Page. He joined a very exclusive club. But it wasn't a fight we all want to see again, you know. He did nearly choke him out in the first round. He nearly choked him out in the first round, but he didn't, and he had it locked in. He had it deep. In the second round, he looked a little intimidated. He almost got knocked out. And then in round 3, the desperation takedowns and the dropping for that leg lock. Listen, he won. He won against Michael Venom Page. For that, you got to give credit. What I'm talking about is fighting for the belt. When I say the stock dropping, I mean in terms of being a title contender, in terms of being the next challenger, in terms of everybody saying, wow, I want to fight this guy. Jesus Christ. In terms of winning over fan bases and audience members. He walked out to a bad boo. He did. Let's just call it as it is. And then after that fight, probably going to get booed even more. But he did win. And for that, he deserves credit because he's not an easy man to beat. Right. Okay. So, let's have a look. Alex Pereira as a heavyweight. John, if you're listening, and I know you're probably not, that's my editor in the background. You think I'd know how to put up bloody polls by now, but I don't. I mean, I do. I'm sure I could figure it out. There's buttons down here. But I'd have to figure it out, and I can't be bothered. John Brannigan, my editor, if you're in the background and you're listening, put a poll up. Should Alex Pereira fight at heavyweight, or should he defend against Magomed Ankalaev? What do you guys think? That's what we really want to know. Jesus Garcia, or Jesus. I am not a boomer. I just don't live my entire life on YouTube. I create YouTube content. I don't go on it very often. I don't fiddle with the back end. Do you know what I mean? I'm living my life. I'm flying around the world. I'm providing for a family. What do I think about Portugal? Never been. Looking forward to going. Dave G says, how high am I on Payton Talbott and how far can he go? Well, I mean, that was unbelievable what he did last night. Great performance. Let's have a look at him here. Where is it? Payton Talbott. I think he's 7-0 or 9-0. Pardon me. Let's have a little look. 9-0. 7 knockouts. Pardon me. That was the confusion. So it was a textbook right hand. Beautiful right hand. Sits him down. Clean. One of the cleanest right hands. Any boxing coach in the world would say that is how you throw a right hand, on balance, perfect delivery, straight down the line, turned the hand, rotated the waist, textbook, sits him down. Got the job done, 19 seconds. He's a cool guy. He's got a bright future. 3-0 in the UFC, of course. Before that, it's this one. That win there over Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon's a beast. The fact that he beat him as well and he stopped him in round 2 is very, very impressive. So he's got a bright future. I think it's a little bit soon, a little bit early to be talking about titles and things like that. I'm going to be talking to him on my podcast tomorrow. Very, very excited about that because I want to talk to him because what he's been doing and achieving is unreal. It really is. So I want to hear all about his story. But the man is one of the brightest prospects. He really is. I mean, that was phenomenal what he did and what he's continuing to do in the bantamweight division. Unbelievable. So what have we got on here? 1,500 of you here. So thank you all for being here and spending this Sunday afternoon with me. Have I ever been to Canada before? Chris Gray asked me. Yeah, many times. Fought there 3 times. Visited 30, I would say, over the years. How's Harry? He's all right. He's all right. He's just annoying. Talking about my dog, Harry. The only time he wants to spend any time with you is if you're stroking him. As soon as the stroke stops, he pisses you off. He doesn't like lie on you and put his head on your lap. Do you know what I mean? You have to be touching him. If you don't touch him, he walks away. Anyway, so we got a poll up here. Thank you, John, for doing that. Oh, look at that. What should Pereira do next? Move to heavyweight or defend at light heavy? Split right down the middle. 50-50. Interested. Michael Frank says, wish you would have a last scrap with Pretty Boy. Who's Pretty Boy? Who's Pretty Boy? Hello from Cornwall. Is Rebecca getting better? Yeah, she is. She's all right. She's on the mend. But you know how women are. She still hasn't been too good lately, so she hasn't got makeup on and stuff, so she's not going to sit here on a live stream. Do you know what I mean? She won't leave the house unless she's got a full face of makeup. It's just the way she is. And I like that. She looks after herself, takes care in her appearance, pride in her appearance. Michael is absolutely right about the accusations that Ian is making. But Jesse's going to make a video without any evidence looking for likes and views. Sorry, Jesse, I didn't know it was going to say that. Come over to Dublin, Bisping. Well, Steve-O, F, I would do, mate. I'd love to. In fact, I would love to come out there and do a Tales from the Octagon again. Ant is in the super chat and he says, wouldn't you want Mike Oxmall in the UFC rather than MVP? Mike Oxmall. I'd say I knew straight away. I'm just playing along. Come on, mate. Got to get out of bed earlier than that, but, you know, I'll play the game because I do like a bit of fun and a little bit of banter. But you guys, nothing original lately. Okay, so, all right, let's talk about Pereira. Pereira going to heavyweight. Well, first of all, Jiri Prochzka, right? Jiri Prochzka, I love that guy. And I think I put a tweet out about this last night. I think Jiri Prochzka and Alex Pereira, they're both so good for the sport. And I'll tell you why. Because in a world of mixed martial arts where like the prototype has been set, where a lot of people are trying to replicate a kind of a Conor McGregor-esque presence. They all want to trash talk and stuff like that. And listen, I did my fair bit. You know, here's 2 guys that are completely original. Jiri is, you know, the whole samurai thing, but that's how he is. He's an intense, traditional martial artist that fights his fucking ass off. And then on the flip side, we've got Alex Pereira, who's coming from the Amazon jungle, you know, who's knocking everybody out. And it's unbelievable. Alex Pereira issues statement. But what I mean is by their personalities. There's no controversy. They're not talking shit. They're not throwing wild insults. They're not getting into crazy shouting matches at press conferences. They're very confident in their abilities, and they state that. But the way they handle themselves is with class, but with confidence. And they're so different. And I think it's great for the sport. And I think it's great for inspiring the next generation of fighters. So let's see this statement from Jiri Prochzka, shall we? Hold on, we'll get that over here so we can actually bloody see it. Oh, that's Alex Pereira. Pereira gives savage response. Should we listen to it? Let's listen. We're listening. Chama.
Even more dominant this time than the first time around. I'm sure you'll want to go back and watch the fight, but as you sit there now, what are your thoughts on your performance tonight?
Pô, Alex, parabéns pela sua vitória. Pô, dessa vez até do modo muito mais dominante do que a primeira. Tenho certeza que você vai voltar. Você já não voltou a assistir o que você dizia aí pra gente.
Ainda não assisti, mas eu vi muito que eu fiz ali em cima. Acho que consegui obedecer bem a estratégia. Como eu falei, estava treinando. Claro que foi algo... Muitas pessoas questionando, acreditando.
Well, as you can see, I was training. I stuck with my strategy. When this fight got over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That is not a response from Jiri Prochzka. Where is that? Where is the... Hello, everyone. Here's what Jiri had to say. Oh, we got a video. We got a video from Jiri. This will be in English. No offense to Pereira.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for all your support. Thanks to you, Alex, for the fight. It was better. And only one thing goes on my mind, that I need to evolve to the next level or don't fight again. So it's simple. To be the strongest, this is the way. Thank you.
Well, that's true words by Jiri Prochzka there, because he does need to evolve. That's the fact of the matter. Because he's a great fighter. He offers a lot of violence, knockout power, great chin, a lot of self-belief. There's a few areas on the feet he could clean up with. He's got to evolve in terms of the wrestling, because when he clinched up with Pereira in round 1, he was trying to reap the leg. It's kind of a basic takedown, and somebody like Pereira, with the strength, with the balance, with the work that he's done with Glover Teixeira, they're going to be able to stop that. What he needed to do was level change, drop his weight, get the hands around the ass, pick him up, slam him down, set up the hands, level change, shoot in, single leg, double leg, high crotch, chain wrestling attacks. So yeah, I mean, and that's very honest of him. So we got a super chat here from Jesus Garcia. Okay, Jesus is back. He says, should Pereira fight Jan or Jamal Hill after the Ankalaev fight, or just move up to heavyweight? Also, do you know who Lucas Tracy MMA is? I don't know that, but I think he shouldn't fight Jan. No offense to Jan. The only fight at light heavyweight is Magomed Ankalaev. That's the only fight right now for him. But I also feel that when you look at the rankings and you look at what, there we are, hold on. There we are there, Pereira. Prochazka, he's beaten. Ankalaev is at 2, Jamal Hill, Jan Blachowicz, and then we get down to, he's beaten all of them apart from Ankalaev. Then we get down to Rakic, Krylov, Walker, Roundtree. None of those guys are in a position yet. And even Magomed Ankalaev, whilst there's no doubt, there's no question, Ankalaev deserves the next shot. And far be it from me, because I do not promote the UFC and I don't know nearly enough about the business and how you create superstars and sell millions of pay-per-views, right? Because I've never done anything like that. And neither have any of you watching. But if I was in control, I'd be like, you know what? We've got this superstar in Alex Pereira. And again, this is just my opinion. We've got the superstar in Alex Pereira. Everybody loves him. John, put a poll up. Put a poll up, John. Let me just see if that other poll's still going. If it is, I'll cancel it. By the way, you all say 52% say move to heavyweight. But I would say, I mean, everyone loves this guy. John, put a poll up on that. Who here, do you love Alex Pereira, yes or no? Because everyone seems to, really, really like this guy. And he's been a 2-weight division champion. And he's beaten 5 former champions. And his style is so fan-friendly. He's knocking everybody out. So I would say, fucking let's ride this to the moon. Let's put him in the heavyweight division. He's the only person right now who has any kind of legitimate shot of doing that. It's never been done before. Now, I was speaking to a colleague of mine, Nick Pete, on TNT Sports. He was of the opinion that they should do John Jones versus Alex Pereira to find out who the GOAT is. Because right now, John Jones is the GOAT. Whether you like that or not, that is the fact. Okay? But Pereira is like crawling. He's crawling up there. Whether you like it or not, that's the facts. So he was like, let them fight each other. And I was like, no. Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades, that's for the interim championship in July. I would say let Stipe and John Jones fight in November because that's been lined up for bloody donkey years. Okay, that fight's going to happen. In the meantime, Tom and Curtis Blades, they fight in Manchester. And the winner of that defends against Alex Pereira. Come on. That would be a massive fight. Massive. Let's just say Tom Aspinall beats Curtis Blades. That's a big if. He's going to be down for that because the pay-per-view points is going to be through the roof. Same for Alex Pereira. This is a chance of greatness. 3-weight division champ, never been done before. Simultaneously a 2-weight division champion as well. I'm just saying in terms of like big events, massive events that the world's going to want to see, history making. If he was to lose to Magomed Ankalaev, that'd be off the table. But hey, that's the price you pay. If you're trying to fight the best people in the world, sometimes you get beat. So maybe now's the time to do that. Who knows? Maybe he beats Magomed Ankalaev. Maybe he knocks him out like he's been knocking out everybody else. So what do I know? Anyway, what else do we have here? Let's go down to the bottom. By the way, 84% of you say that you love Alex Pereira. Pereira versus Ankalaev, what would be your pick? Well, I did say I will never bet against Alex Pereira again. I'm never picking against this guy again. He's unbelievable. He continues to prove me wrong. I do think Ankalaev would have a really, really good chance of beating him, but don't tell anyone I said that because I'm a fan of Pereira. But Magomed Ankalaev is a problem for everybody. Right, should we talk about Ian Garry? Shall we? Ian Garry versus Michael Venom Page. I mean, I guess we'll have to at some point. I'm joking, by the way. Ian Garry, let's have a look on the internet, see what comes up. News, Ian Garry. Boom. Twitter reacts to Ian Garry. That might be fun. Should we see what people are saying? Let's have a look. I haven't looked at this, by the way. I have no idea where this is going to go. Where did it go? Where'd the bloody article go, for crying out loud? There it is. Let's just minimize this bad boy. Make it a bit smaller. There we go. Slide her over here. Bosh. We don't need to watch the video. We know what he would have been saying. That was perfect. That was an amazing performance. It was great. To be honest, not an easy man to beat. MVP's not an easy man to beat. But I just thought he looked like some of the takedowns weren't good. The submission attempt wasn't good. And the striking wasn't good. But he did win. He did win. And for that, he has my respect. By the way, on the poll, on the love him, still on 84%. 13% of you don't like or love or aren't Alex Pereira fans. How can you not be a fan? Oh, no, 13% is indifferent. 3% says, no, I'm not a fan. Jeez Louise. You've just got something against Brazilians, haven't you? Right, Garry continued his ways. Hold on. Check out. All right, here we go. Where's the bloody tweets? The vibes are high. Yeah, what did we think about Michael Venom Page's... what did we think about the dance? What did we think about the dance? Oh no, what have I done? What did we think about the dance, guys? I mean, it's great for showmanship. He's got some moves. I tell you what, he can dance better than me. That's a bloody fact. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
what do we think about the jacket?
Live!
Alex just done so much recently that I can't not love him as a fighter. Yeah, and I think that's generally the attitude, isn't it? So this is exactly what Ian wanted. And this is coming from Wonderboy Thompson, who knows this game and knows the style of MVP very, very well. I thought that was over, didn't defend the body triangle. Yeah, the body triangle, it's very, very hard to defend and to escape. Hey up, here he is. Whoa! Ireland, you have a Khabib. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Should we look at the responses? To Ireland, you have a Khabib. There'll be nothing but abuse. Let's have a look. See what they're saying. Hold on, we'll pull that over there. Khabib would never live with his wife's boyfriend. Oh, God. Khabib would never live with his wife's boyfriend. When I'm a... Oh, you bastards, aren't you? Oh, my God. Not going to lie, I respect him working on other aspects of mixed martial arts. Hey, look, listen, it wasn't the best fight, it wasn't the most entertaining fight, but he got the victory. There's only 2 people that have beaten MVP before Ian Garry did it, right? Ian Garry he's a little, he can be a little annoying at times, but you know, you can't deny what the man's doing in the octagon. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but it was a win. MVP is a trial guy at the BJJ gym. MVP has been such a terrible investment. I disagree. Dude was known for electric finishes. He's put up 2 of the most boring fights of the year. Well, he beat Kevin Holland. He beat Kevin Holland, and he had a close fight with Ian Garry. Matching up, that fight was a tie. I agree. Hold on, what we got here? Let's have a look. See a bit of volume.
You're a wrestler now. You're a wrestler. And then all of a sudden he's shooting for a takedown. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you're a wrestler now. You're a wrestler. And then all of a sudden he's shooting for a takedown.
I was just trying to see if I was on that panel. Classic. Oh, Islam's there. Anyway, we've done that. We've done that to death. Let's have a look. Let's go back to the chat. Answer some questions. I'm just going off on a bloody tangent here. Chatting out my ass. All right, he has the best striking in MMA. I disagree. He has very, very good striking. He does have good striking. It is not the best in all the mixed martial arts. You would still destroy him. Garry haters coping hard right now. Should have been a draw. Yeah. Dana said that as well at the post-fight press conference. Don't want to sound like a bootlicker, but I kind of agree. I do kind of agree. The third round, I mean, listen, Garry won round 1. That's obvious. MVP won round 2. That is also obvious. Third round, MVP lands a few shots. Garry goes for a sloppy leg lock. MVP gets on top. Ian Garry with the body triangle. Again, this is why I'm being a little bit critical. Body triangles off your back do nothing. You can't sweep, you can't stand up, and you cannot submit. All the body triangle from your back does is stop an opponent from passing guard, and you just stay there. And the person on top can punch you in the face or elbow you in the face. Or like Ian was doing, you can try and elbow him in the head. So a body triangle off your back is nothing. Then they get back to the feet. That was about the first half of the round. The second half of the round, Ian Garry manages to take the back standing, jumps on the back, threatens a rear naked choke. Not too much, but did have what the judges obviously felt was a bad position, which was a bad position at his back. So it was like they both had a little bit of success, but nothing crazy. It was probably a draw, but whatever. It is what it is. Bisping trying to collect disability checks. Please explain, AJ. Please explain. I'm going to end that poll there. 82% of you love Alex Pereira, and rightly so. Rightly bloody so. Let's go down the bottom of here. Oh, hey, Mike, how do you feel about the ladies' fight getting stopped due to the cut? Buzzards Cry, member for 26 months. I'm mad that Ricky Simone didn't attack the leg. I actually missed Ricky Simone's fight, sadly. But I'll tell you what, let's do this. So, Mayra, how do you spell Mayra? Bueno, Silva, cut, UFC 303, boom. And we've got images. We should see it. No. We need a close-up. I'm trying to find a close-up for you guys. Hold on, let's have a look. Pictures over there covered in blood. Is it Mayra? Mayra. Do you think that's it? Should not. You think Mayra Bueno Silva. All right, there we go. That did it. We need a close-up, so boom. There it is. Where's the bloody cut? No, that is not. White reveals plans for UFC event at the Sphere. Where did the cut go? Jesus Christ. We'll just do this. We'll just move this over. So, yeah, it's a bad cut, as we can see. I mean, Jesus Christ, that took a while to get there, didn't it? No wonder a few of you dropped off since then. Apologies, guys. I agree with Joe Rogan on this one. It was a bad cut. You can clearly see that. There was a lot of blood. It was at the, it was in round 2, or was it the end of round 1? I think it was the end of round 1. Let me just double check that. Because Macy shuts on. All right, it was in round 2. It was in round 2. Where did that picture go? There it is. It's a bit of blood. It's a bit of blood. It's going to heal. It's as simple as that. It's going to get better, right? They're going to stitch it up at the back and nothing's going to happen. Yes, they always say the cut's in a bad place. The blood is going to go into the eye and that's problematic and you can't see. But you know what you can do? You can wipe it. Yeah, the blood will continue to come and it will continue to go into your eye and you can continue to wipe it. And I think at that point, if you're willing to take punches to the face, kicks to the face, knees to the nose, you're willing to have people choking you out, you're willing to maybe just wipe a bit of blood out of your eye here and there. However, I don't really care that much. That's just my opinion. Very hot. Rebecca! It's boiling in here. What is she? She's turned the AC off. She has turned the AC off. More AC, please. Boiling. She won't see that. Yeah, so I had no problem with the stoppage. Well done to Macy Chasson. She's a great fighter. Bueno Silva. I mean, that's the danger with those elbows. Elbows are dangerous. They will cut you up bad. Hold on, what's she saying here? I said, can you put the AC on? It's absolutely boiling. Hold on, what's she saying? Okay, it's on 72, but I'll turn it down more. Well, I'm sweating. Send. Badly. Well, I'm sweating badly. Right, anyway, let's do some more questions. That chick always looks confused. Yeah, she does. She does have a kind of a confused look on her face, like she's about to start crying sometimes. Take shirt off. Jones Collection. No, you take your shirt off. Hold on, let's get off that there. There we go. Mike, son, do you think that Alex... Oh, we got some super chats here. No. Thank you, Jason Carney, for that one before. Can you beat John Fury in a dance battle? Well, no man alive should be trying to fight John Fury in a bloody dance battle. You know, my God. John Fury. We're not hearing from him lately, are we? You know. Obviously, Tyson Fury lost the fight. I don't think we've done a live since then. You know, Tyson Fury lost to Usyk. It was a good fight. It was a great fight. It really was. But Usyk clearly won. Did you see what Usyk was saying recently? Sorry, Mike Tyson was saying recently. So Tyson Bloody Fury was saying, Tyson Fury says Usyk was easy. And that was the problem. The fight was too easy. And this is crazy.
Morning, Beeps. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. I don't think
we shouldn't have put him on. I don't know what he's doing. That's not what I was looking for. Videos. Tyson Fury says the Usyk fight was too easy. Let's have a look here. This might be a little short.
It was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, the Usyk fight. A lot easier. People saying, oh, he's a hard man to hit. I was lighting him up with 3 and 4 punch combinations, laughing at him. My problem in that fight, I probably had too much fun. It was probably too easy. It was like I was in there with a local amateur boxer. And I was just enjoying it too much and messing around, and you paid the ultimate price in round 9 where I got a 10-8 round and got clipped.
Well, you know, it didn't look too easy. You almost got finished in that round. But they're going to rematch in December, and I'm very excited for it because it was a fantastic fight. Right now, though, going back to the original question, could I beat John Fury in a dance-off? Probably. I reckon I could. Old Mikey B back in the day, in the DJ days, I used to have a little dance here and there. Although I haven't danced in a while, I'm more just a kind of, I'll bob my head a little bit, but I don't go to nightclubs. When was the last time I was in a nightclub? When I DJ'd, I think. I don't go to clubs though. Anyway, questions. Let's get back to questions. Mike, who's my favourite to commentate with? You and DC dynamic kills me. I must say, I do have a great laugh with DC. I do. He's a funny guy. He just brings out a little bit of silliness in me. But I think we do a good job of having a laugh, but also getting back in, because it's serious business. When there's men and women in there risking their lives, fighting tooth and nail, you know, you can't be having a laugh. But sometimes if the activity dies down and maybe, you know, there's a little moment of, you know, a bit of ground control with not much happening, we can maybe, you know, there's a little opening for a little bit of lightheartedness there. But they're all great to work with. Paul Felder's one of my favourites. They're all great. They're all great. Am I a silly little goose? This is Joshua Macklin. I really should proofread these first, so I don't know where this is going. Am I a silly little goose for thinking that MVP will have success in the UFC? Who do you think he should face next? I would love to see Joaquin Buckley. Well, Joshua, it's funny that you say that, because I was talking about this just a few hours ago, and that is one of the fights that I suggested. When you look at the welterweight division, right, Leon Edwards, MVP versus Leon Edwards, stylistically, would be a great fight. However, you have to earn that right. And he hasn't earned that right by losing. Bilal Muhammad, stylistically, wouldn't be a great fight. Bilal's a great wrestler. That's what he's going to look to do against Leon. Shavkat Rakhmonov could be a fun matchup. Colby Covington, he's going to try and wrestle him all day long. Jack Della Maddalena. See, that is one of the fights that I would put out there for the next fight for MVP. So whilst for Michael Venom Page, look, listen, title aspirations for now, definitely on hold. Not over, not finished, but a loss will derail that temporarily. He hasn't got too much time, though. He's not a young man. He's a great man now. Let me tell you, Michael Venom Page is one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. He really is. There's just something about him, his energy, his warmness. He's just a gentleman and a hell of a fighter. So my next matchup, if I was playing matchmaker, would be Jack Della Maddalena. Hold on. Jack Della Maddalena, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, or Joaquin Buckley. Or there's Neil Magny there, but yeah, Buckley, Thompson, or Jack Della Maddalena. He would probably want Jack Della Maddalena because it's the bigger name, the higher ranking, and still then he can right the ship and then get closer to a title fight again. You know what I'm saying? But still. You and Cruz are funny. Yeah, Cruz is great as well. Buckley, then maybe JDM. Did I see the video of James Vick getting knocked out? He probably should have stayed retired, especially coming off a broken orbital and jaw. Left up Larry. I did, Joe. So James Vick fought on Karate Combat. I didn't watch the event, but I did see a highlight of James Vick jumping, switched, kicked, knocked out. It was a bad KO. But I'll tell you what I did see as well. If you didn't see it, everyone. Karate Combat, the president of Karate Combat, Azim Azim Aid, forget his last name, pardon me. President Awesome, that's what he calls himself, and he is awesome. So it all kicks off. I forget who it was, a cornerman or some shit like that. He runs into the ring and is trying to start a fight. President Awesome chokes him out, unconscious. So anyway, all shit kicked off, it hit the fan. So he's coming on my podcast tomorrow. So make sure you check out the Believe You Me podcast tomorrow. President Awesome will be on there. We want to hear what happened there. Joey Pfeiffer, who just knocked out the power bar, Marc-Andre Barriault. He will be joining the podcast as well. And of course, Mr. Save the Day himself, Dan Ige. So 3 great guests for tomorrow's podcast. So make sure you check that out, please. All right. Garry, Paddy and Aljo were all given free wins. Ian Garry, Paddy and Aljo. I mean, I see what you're saying about Garry. It was a close one. I see what you're saying about Paddy. It was a close one. What one are you referring to for Aljamain Sterling? Anyway, Evan Fleming says, can you buy me tickets to the next card in Las Vegas? Yep, done. You got it. Hyperion F. Feed Colby to Garry. I reckon Garry obliterates him. I think stylistically he might get out wrestled, but I'd say make that matchup next. What do I think is next for Anthony? Well, let's have a look at the UFC rankings. And I know I do this a lot, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. But when we look at the light heavyweight rankings, well, that's not it. Here we go. Look at the rankings here. So Smith's there at number 10. Probably going to get replaced by Dolidze. I mean, Ulberg's up number 11. Maybe they make that fight. I don't think they will. Ulberg's on an absolute run right now, and Anthony's hasn't had the best performances. Dominic Reyes. Maybe Bogdan Guskov. That would make... It makes sense stylistically. Anthony's coming off a loss. Bogdan is coming off a loss, I believe. Volkan Oezdemir, I think. And they look exactly like one another. They look exactly like one another. So just for that alone, I'd like to see that fight. But we'll see. I don't think Anthony will be on the podcast tomorrow. He'll be taking some time to decompress and come to terms with what happened and probably beating himself up a bit, you know, because he didn't have to take that fight. But that's just the way it goes, man. That's just the way it goes. Fighters sometimes need protecting from themselves, and we often say that, you know. He decided to step up. He thought it was a calculated risk. The risk versus reward was great if you win. But he got paid a shit ton of money, you know. He provided for his family. That's the main thing. Like, what's the average wage? The average salary in the United States? We'll say United States. In fact, England. What's the average wage in England? I have no idea these days. Average salary in UK. What do you think it is, everyone? For people that aren't in the UK. What do you think it is? 50 quid? 27? 25k? I know when I was working there, I was on 10 grand. 10 grand. 60k? 40? Well, this is going to blow your minds. According to Google. 35 grand? As of June 24, the average weekly wage in the UK, including bonuses, is £687, which is equivalent to an annual pre-tax salary of £35,000. Yeah, I mean, and it's not a lot of money. But to be fair, like in the north of England, it's way cheaper to live. It's way cheaper to live than out here in bloody California, I'll tell you that. You know, like if I never wanted to work again, I could sell my house, take my money in my bank and go sit in Clitheroe, where I'm from, for the rest of my days and live like a bloody king. If I stay here in California, I've got to continue grafting my balls off just to pay the bills. Jason Carney, 28, you're the man. That one popped up again for some reason. Middle class in Western world is cooked. Japan too. I know it is. It's crazy. And it really concerns me these days, of course, for my fellow man, but also for my children. You know, Callum, my son, is 23 and he's finding his way in the world, and life is really hard. The property prices have just shot through the absolute roof. Paying bills, paying medical insurance when you're out here in the UK. Yeah, no, you're right. I know. Depends whereabouts in the UK people are saying. You know, some places 35 grand a year, you're killing it. You're living in London on 35 grand. You're really, really struggling. But yeah, no, just I think everyone, unless you're very lucky, unless you're one of those guys that or girls that is, you know, you're doing fantastic. I think most people are struggling to make ends meet, struggling to pay the bills, struggling to get on the property ladder. So that's why it does concern me as a father. But anyway, you don't want to hear any kind of economic advice from me. Just go out there and fight and it'll all figure itself out. Adam Rogers says, tell us an early 20s Mikey B fight story. I can't do it. I mean, I can and I will, but you're going to have to pay more than $2. Hey, Mike, would you get Jeff Whittick on the podcast? Yes. Funnily enough, I reached out to Jeff. Is it Jeff Whittick? Jeff on Instagram. I reached out to him the other day. We went back and forth. So we're going to make that happen. Thanks for reminding me. MVP fought because... No, I'm not reading that out. Got to be careful. Ian got no aura. Yeah, maybe that's kind of his problem. He's just trying a little bit too hard. If he just tries a bit less, he's a great fighter. And I'm sure he's a great person. But because he tries so hard, it kind of rubs some people up the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, still holding steady with 2,000 viewers. What we're going to do is we're going to do about another 15 minutes. Mikey3343 says, Bisping, you're a handsome bastard. Thank you. Just for fun, ignoring weight classes, can you give us a few fantasy matchups? How about Islam versus Bones? Well, Johnny Bones Jones is probably the greatest of all time, so I think Bones would beat him. But thanks for calling me handsome. Would I let Lucas or Callum do amateur MMA? Yes. Lucas trains MMA at a very, very good school. If you're in Orange County, California, one of the best places to train if you've got children is the Den in Yorba Linda. He absolutely loves it. He hasn't been for a few weeks because he's doing an intense summer camp training with school. He's about to start high school, so he's doing the wrestling camp. But yeah, and I think he's going to fight as well. We're going to get him doing some kickboxing fights, some amateur MMA. I don't know. I reckon he could. I reckon he could fight. We'll see. Anyway, all Ian Garry needs is a likable personality. Well, he's got the skills. Shavkat responded, by the way. Did you see this? Shavkat Rakhmonov. He says, look at that. Looks like Ian forgot what happened during those training sessions. I don't mind reminding him in the future. Fair play. I will say that. I will say big respect for shouting out and calling out Shavkat Rakhmonov. Nobody's doing that. You know, so he's not looking for easy fights. You've got to respect that, regardless of what you think about shenanigans, shall we say. You got to respect the fact that he's looking to fight Shavkat next, because nobody's calling him out, you know, and that's a fact. No, yeah, Jack Della Maddalena did. Is he? Are they fighting in Perth? Is Jack? Oh no! Is that why? Is Jack Della Maddalena already booked against Shavkat Rakhmonov? So Garry called him out because he knows Shavkat's booked. Oh, God. UFC 305 Perth. Let me have a look. Let's take a look-see-do. Hold on. What's going on here? What's going on with all the stuff? Whoop. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. We've got Chitara. UFC 305 Perth. Let's go. Wikipedia. Boom. Let's go click the link. No, it's not announced. Okay. I was like, he's pulled the wool over my eyes. Fair enough. What does MVP need to do to get back? He needs to work on his wrestling defense and getting back to his feet. That's about it. That's about it. You know. It's hard for me to sit here and, you know, you never want to sound like a bloody know-it-all, and it's always easy to assess from the couch, you know, but as a guy that did it for so long, you know, I did see a few little mistakes, but, you know, he's incredible at what he does. Have you seen reporter Neil Nicker say about MVP? No, I haven't. What did he say? Who's better in slap, Mike? Page or Anita Dump? Paige Van Zandt did very well at slap. She did very well. She got a good win. Did I used to breakdance Larry Bird? No, I did not. When are we getting the Iceman on the podcast? I don't know. But I was in Las Vegas last week, and I went to Nobu, which is a very fancy sushi place, but very delicious. I was on the road, as I said. I've been on the road for 7 or 8 weeks, hardly home at all, and I was by myself. And I thought, and there was a Nobu in the hotel, and I thought, I'll just sit in there. You know what, I'll treat myself. Sat in Nobu, I did the tasting menu, had a couple of drinks, and on the other side of the restaurant was Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was there with his like little entourage of people, enjoying himself. But where I was sitting was in direct eye line to Chuck Liddell. And we know each other, you know, of course, you know, and he's great, and I've got great admiration. But I was just so tired. Do you know those ones? You know when you're just tired and you can't be arsed interacting with anyone? Nothing against Chuck Liddell. As I said, the man is an absolute legend. I was sitting at a table for one. I just wanted to look at my phone. My neck was killing me. I was miserable. I thought, I'm going to eat this food and go to bed. So I changed my chair so like we didn't make eye contact because I just couldn't be arsed. But I was like, oh, there's Chuck. And I wanted to go over and say hi. But do you know when you're just burned out, man? Your social, what did they call it? The social battery. That's a new term that people are using, and I do like it. Have you seen the hot prospect, Touch Me Willie? Come on, bro. Can you not do better than that? Chuck Liddell's great, though. What an absolute legend of the sport. He was there at the fights on Saturday night. And it's great to see that he's still got one of the biggest pops. You know when they do the celebrity shots? Chuck Liddell still gets one of the biggest, which is only right. He bloody should. Michael, do you think 5 judges, will help get better results? That's an interesting question. The problem is with 5 judges, obviously, there's a bit more math to do. There's more eyeballs. It's still an odd number. Yeah, I mean, I think new judges. I think we need new, better judges rather than more judges. That's the fact of the matter. We see some terrible scorecards still. I just don't get it. Terry Bailey, I missed 2 of your super chats. I'm sorry, mate. It does that sometimes. Can you just read them out again? Let me scroll up here. How heavy would you get between middleweight fight cuts? I'd get up to about 230 pounds. See, it's crazy. When I look on the super chat, sorry, the pop-out chat on YouTube, I miss him. But now I'm over here on the Streamlabs, and I scroll up, I'm seeing a few. How heavy would I get, Adam Rogers? About 235, 40 pounds, and it wasn't good looking. It was not a good look. Terry Bailey, did you see the cut Lofton caused Friday night? Terry Bailey, there you go, buddy. I did. Shout out Brendan Lofton. I've got to get him on the podcast as well. Unbelievable. Massive cut. Brendan Lofton from Manchester. He joined me on Tales from the Octagon. Incredible fighter. Better person. Absolutely hilarious. And got a phenomenal victory on Friday night. Well done. Ethan Garabino says, what does MVP need to do to get back? We spoke about that one. Sean White, I'll knock the crap out of Harrington. Make it happen. Sean, make it happen yourself. Adam Rogers, what's the heaviest I used to get? About 235. Would I let Lucas do MMA? You're a handsome bastard. Yeah, we went through all these now. Good. Adam Rogers wants an early 20s Mikey B fight story. Most of them are not early 20s. Most of them are in my teenage years. I wasn't really getting into fights in my 20s. I did. I had a few. I was still a little slow to mature. But most of my fighting days are from about the age of 13 to about 20. And there was a lot. And I'm not proud of that. I was just a young, angry kid, very angry, that thought it was totally normal to have fights. That's all I saw around me, and I thought it was totally normal. Do you know what I mean? And I enjoyed it. What can I tell you? I loved the fight. And we're talking about willing participants, by the way. We're not talking about, picking on people. People wanted to have a go. Fine. Especially when you've had a few beers. You know what I'm saying? And then that was always the problem as well. Being young and intoxicated with alcohol. I like the fact, listen, I love England. Kids drinking alcohol at 18 years old, that's when a lot of shit goes wrong, because people aren't drinking at 18. They're sneaking in, they're drinking at 15, 14. I was getting served in shops when I was 13, What happens when a 14-year-old all of a sudden starts drinking loads of alcohol with friends, so you're drinking way too much? It's not, when adults drink alcohol, when an adult drinks alcohol, we'll sip on it very slowly whilst having a conversation. Don't get me wrong, you get a few lads together, maybe you have a rowdy night out, you start having shots and stuff like that. But generally, adults, civilized adults, will sit around a restaurant or at a bar, have a few conversations, drink some drinks, eat a meal, have some wine, all the rest of it. When you're 15 and you're up the castle in Clitheroe or wherever it is that you hang out, you're with your buddies and you're downing 2-litre bottles of cider. And you're 14. What the fuck do you think's going to happen? If an adult downed a 2-litre bottle of cider, they're going to be shit-faced as well. And that's when they've got a lifetime of experience. You give a kid 2 litres of strong cider, no wonder. And the kid's angry, and they can fight a bit. No wonder they're getting into bloody fights. Do you know what I mean? Not that I'm making excuses, but that's my excuse. Have I ever seen the Japanese prospect? Holy fuck. Oh, come on. Did I have a party with Conor McGregor? Once or twice. 2 litres of the good old Frosty Jacks. It was more White Lightning and Diamond White. White Lightning, man. Jesus Christ, that's what we used to drink back in the day. That would get you on your ass. How would arguments go with Luis J. Gomez? Y'all were funny. Yeah, we did. We had some good funny times on the podcast. Some good funny times, and I miss a lot of those. We had some good laughs, but we also had a lot of arguments. And he's tough to argue with. Not that he wins every argument. He just refuses to see any other point but his own. So, but whatever, all good. I'm sure he has plenty of gripes about me, but it's all water under the bridge, long time ago, and that's that. Have you ever seen the up-and-coming kid from Manchester, Wayne Kerr? He's 5-0. Sure, he's going to do big things. You're a beauty. I'm just messing with you, brother. Thank you. White Lightning will take paint off your car. Tell me about it. All right. Should Sean or Rob get a title shot next? Finally, a proper question. Sean Strickland. John, if you're there, put a poll up. What do we think? Sean Strickland, let's have a look. Let's get a bit of interaction on here. Sean Strickland, news. There's always something. Mix. Boom. Sean Strickland dismisses #1 contender matchup against former champion as he vows to wait for a title fight. Sean Strickland and his brother pathetically get in the face of a rock climbing gym staff. Oh. Now, I don't know what E-Bombs World is, right? E-Bombs World, I don't know what kind of website that is, but just the fact that the headline is worded like that, pathetically, get in the face, shows me that they don't like Sean Strickland. Let's just put it like that. Ian Garry rejects potential fight with mentally unwell Sean Strickland. Dricus du Plessis to enter the GOAT conversation with a win over Izzy. Anyway, so Sean Strickland dismisses. That's the whole thing. I think Sean, who looks very stable and with it there. I mean, there's some terrible shots for me, though. There is. My wife, God bless her, she had a custom piece of art, an oil painting done for me. And it's a beautiful, amazing piece of artwork. Cost a fortune as well. I wasn't too happy when I found out the price. But what an amazing gift. And it's me winning the belt. And the look of my face is something like that. And I was like, could you not have just picked a more handsome, attractive shot? She's like, yeah, but I love the emotion. And she's right. And that is there. There's a lot of emotion on the face of Sean Strickland there. Anyway, he says that he will not fight Israel. He says, it ain't happening. I'll say no to Whittaker. He don't deserve it. I'm next in line. I've defended my title shot. I'm the number one contender. It ain't happening. And I understand Sean's stance. Of course. He beat Israel Adesanya. He had a close fight with Dricus du Plessis. And then he just beat, who did he just beat? Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa's not an easy man to beat. Israel Adesanya is not an easy man to beat. He was the person to take the belt off him. And he did go a close fight with Dricus. However, he lost to Dricus. It was close. I thought Dricus won. Sean felt that he won. Dana White actually said that he thought Sean won. A lot of people thought Sean won, and a lot of people thought that Dricus won. It was a bloody close fight, you know. But on paper, he lost. And there's a lot of, and this sport is all about what have you done for me lately. For example, let's look at what happened in the lightweight division. Dustin Poirier beats Benoit Saint-Denis. I said he might get a title fight with that. Everyone said I was bloody crazy. Justin Gage is next. Well, we all know how that panned out, right? Dustin Poirier got a title fight. Robert Whittaker just went out there, and what was it? I forget how quick it was in Saudi Arabia. Number one, agreed to fight Ikram Aliskerov, and then knocked him out in sensational fashion. That uppercut that he landed, unreal. All Robert Whittaker has to do, well, he's going to continue fighting. If he wins one more fight, he's then on a 3-fight win streak. And if he fights someone else in the meantime, between Dricus and Israel fighting, they're not fighting until August. Let's say Dricus wins, just for the sake of the argument. Let's say he doesn't fight for another 6 months. In that 6 months, Whittaker gets one more fight, gets another stunning knockout. And this whole time, Sean Strickland's just sitting on the sidelines, waiting for his shot. Robert Whittaker will have earned it over Strickland. So I don't think he should wait on the sidelines. Anyway, Jack Sparrow. What's up, Jack? How are you, buddy? My voice is starting to croak. You know why I got out of bed this morning? I did a show for TNT Sports. I did a video for tomorrow, which will be dropping in the morning. So make sure you check it out. And then also I'm doing here talking away for another hour and 10 minutes. So it's not bloody surprising that my voice is starting to go. Jack Sparrow says, Michael Bisping, my birthday is April 28th, 1978. Physical jobs my entire life. I have 3 ruptured discs now. How old were you when you noticed the change in your joints popping, etc.? Yeah, Jack, I feel your pain, buddy. And Jack Sparrow, I had no idea. I don't know why. For some reason, I always tend to think that people on YouTube leaving comments and stuff on here, I always tend to think they're like kids. I never think that you're someone my age or older than me. So thank you, Jack. Thank you for being here. And yeah, it's a shitty part of getting older, isn't it? For me, I'm in total fucking pain all day, every day. It's like right now, just doing that is agony. So I'm going to have to get surgery. I see my doctor on Tuesday. I've got to get a disc replacement and I've got to get a titanium plate. My wrist is absolutely killing me. That's kind of flared up at the minute. But I've got 2 knee replacements. One of them's hurting as well. But the main thing is this neck, which I've been dealing with for a while, but I can't deal with it. I've got some movie stuff, which sound like a wanker for even saying, but I'm putting it off because I want to do the fucking movie. Do you know what I mean? But I just can't do it. So I got to get the surgery. So you have 3 ruptured discs now. How old were you when you noticed joints popping and stuff like that? Over the last few years, when to be honest, I got my knees replaced 2019, the first one, but I had a lot of knee problems, and that's just the thing with mixed martial arts. And I wish you all the best, Jack. I really do. I don't know what you're talking about. Probably in your back, right? I wish you all the best. Chris Gray says, "Damn, how many surgeries have you had in your life?" I don't know. Let's go through them. So in my knee, probably about 7 on my left knee, but then I got a knee replacement. We'll call that 8. Then a knee replacement on my right knee, so that's 9. 1 surgery on my neck, that's 10. I've had my nose rebuilt from my ribs, that's 11. I had about 6 surgeries on my eye, so that's 17. I had surgery on my elbow, that's 18. That's probably about 20 I'd say. So yeah. No regrets though, no regrets, because I live a great life, although the pain, man, is fucking crazy. It's enough to drive a man to drink. Anyway, hey Bisping, UK GOAT 100. Any BYM plans for UFC Manchester? Steve Ruskin, maybe you can help me out. People of Manchester, maybe you can help me out. Let me know if there's any people in Manchester. I'm trying to do a live podcast Thursday night in Manchester, a live episode of the Believe You Me podcast. I just need a venue. I'm probably going to have Adam Catchell and Nick Pete from the Fight Disciples and TNT Sports, and I would love to do it with a live crowd. I just need like a comedy club or a bar or a venue. I need to put this on Twitter. None of you assholes on here are going to know this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it on Twitter, social media. Let me know. But yeah, I'm going to plan on doing that. 35 is when it all starts going downhill. Probably right, Skynet, something like that. Professional sports take a toll on your body. The worst might be pro wrestling. You're right, Robert. Pro wrestling, all that jumping around and smashing the canvas. It's bad, man. It's bad. Hey, check your chats on Streamlabs. Okay, I'll do that. Who am I looking for? Evan Fleming. Jack Sparrow. Criminal Cappy. Jim deserved the bonus. Peter Harris. His great build-up. Todd Fleming, tell Dana we need the UFC to come to Pittsburgh. That's Todd Fleming, not Evan Fleming. I had no idea I'd missed all these chats. Adam Rogers, have you seen a bad KO in a street fight? Oh, I have, mate. I have. Oh, have I ever? I've seen bad ones. Adam Rogers. Yeah, we got them all, I think. We got them all. Who is the second best light heavyweight of all time? I missed loads. I am sorry. Second best light heavyweight of all time. Currently, the best light heavyweight of all time is John Jones. You can't argue with that. The second best light heavyweight of all time might be Daniel Cormier. Which would lead you to ask the question, so where does that leave Alex Pereira? You know what I'm saying? What do you think? Anyway, message me back about the 304 show, please. What do you mean, message you back? Oh, right, yeah, the Rambling Dad MMA podcast. I'm busy, bro. Guys, If anyone knows anyone in Manchester that can accommodate a live podcast, let me know. I messaged you over signing the bell. Just wanted to thank you in advance. And I want to thank Creatures of the Night Comedy Club Manchester. Terry Bailey, give him a shout. Tell him the count is coming. And we need a venue. I don't want to see a world where Alex beats a prime DC. No, I know. I don't see a world where Alex beats a prime DC. I know. I don't. But again, it sounds like I'm talking shit about Alex Pereira, which I'm not. I love Alex Pereira. I think he's incredible for the sport. I think he's unbelievable. Yeah. Cub Swanson should have won that fight. He was very, very unlucky. Cub Swanson, I see the comment, boxing devotee. The reason I stayed away from it is I like Andre Feely as well, and it was a close fight. But Cub should have won. You do always pick against him. Yeah, not because I don't like Alex Pereira, not because I've got an issue with him or a problem with him. I honestly wasn't sure. Jiri and Alex, I was like, this could go either way. And I was like, it was just a hunch. I'm like, do you know what? I've got a feeling. Maybe it's something I saw, maybe an interview. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go with Jiri. And then people come out and they're like, you're a dickhead. What's your problem? I haven't got a problem. It's called a pick. A pick. It's called a prediction. There's no insult attached to it. It's just a prediction. I'm going to go to Clitheroe for a long-awaited vacation. Any places you recommend? Some great Airbnbs, and there's a beautiful castle. There's a nice river. There's some great hills. No, there's some great countryside. The Trough of Bowland. Beautiful, mate. Listen, too late. You got to look up the Clitheroe Tourism Board because I'm done. I'm over and out. I got to go see my family. Big video on Alex Pereira dropping in the morning, and now I'm also going to do a video real quick. Who's the best light heavyweights of all time? I'm going to do a video on that one because what would it be? John Jones, Pereira, DC. Who would the other two be? Gustafsson? No. Gustafsson, would he be in there? Of all time. Chuck Liddell, of course. Chuck Liddell, the Iceman. Thank you, Robert G. Chuck. Quinton Rampage Jackson. Ortiz. See, this is the thing. Machida, Shogun, there's so many good ones. Right now, the lightweight division is the shit. Back in the day, it was the light heavyweight division. And on that note, I'm going to say bon voyage, goodbye, adios, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, ciao.